Hello friends, in this video we'll learn about looping statements. So in Python we have first question is what is loop or why we will use loop. So suppose if I want to print something three times, what I'll do, I'll print that one, right? And if I want to print it three times, I'll write it three times. So it will print three times. So suppose if I want to write it 10 times, I will print it for 10 times, correct? So but if it is like 1000, 2000, I cannot write print a statement every time, right? So to reduce that work, I'll be using looping statements. Okay, I'll use loop and I can print those whatever the requirements, or not only for printing, I can do the perform task like suppose reading the lines of code or reading a particular range, so that I can do using looping statements. So in Python we have two kinds of loop. First is for loop and second is while loop. Okay, so what for loop will do, first I'll go with for loop. So syntax to write for loop is for variable in, here I'll write range or how much times I want to go, then the task I want to perform, correct? So range is first, we should know what is range. So range function is used to get the variable in between the particular values. Suppose I want to know the values in between the 90 and 100. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll use range function and I'll give 90 and 100 inside that, and it we can get it. So for one more thing, for range function, first it will include the first variable what we have given, and it will exclude, it is excluding second variable, so it will take n minus 1 values. If I have given 100, so it will go till 99. Okay, so suppose I want to know all even numbers, or I want to step through every second element, so I'll give here steps. So steps 2. Okay, so what will be the syntax for range function is range then start comma end and then steps, correct? So what if I'll give range of, so see what if I'll give this range. Okay, so if I'll run this code, what it will print the steps. Okay, we have starting from 90, we are ending from till 100, and it is having step 2. Okay, what if I want to read what is inside this element? So that time I'll be using for loop. So for I in range 90 comma 20, sorry 90 comma 100, and then I'll print I. What it will do, see 90 91 till 99 it is printing. Well, scroll down, see it is printing till 99. As function it will go till 100 minus 1. So this is how for loop will work. If I want to go do step 2, it will print see 90 91 90, sorry 90 92 94 96 98. Okay, so what if I want to work with list. I have a list one of 10 30 89 okay, this is list I have and I want to work with this list. For I want to get every element of the list, so at that time I'll use for variable in. Okay, there is two ways I can read this element. So first I'll go with this print of. So what it will do, it will print whatever I have inside the list 10 30 39 100 09 70. Okay, the second way is for I in range, length of sorry, I in range length of list 1, print list 1 of I. This will also give us list, the same thing, correct? So this is how list function will work. So suppose I have this list and I want to multiply each element by 2. Okay, multiply each element by 2. Okay, so that time what I'll do, here I'm printing, correct? So what I'll do, I'll create a empty list, list 2. This is how I create an empty list. Okay, I'll give list 2 dot append. Append function will use to add a variable in list 2. Okay, I can do step like I can write inside this, but what I'll do, I'll use a variable here num equal to list 1 of I, and I'll do star 2 and then append list of 2. Then once the for loop will complete, I'll print my list 2, list 2. Okay, let's see. What is it? Okay, I forgot to give my statement. Okay, so what it did, it multiplies each and every element by 2. Okay, so that's how I can use my for loops. Next, second loop is I have while loop. Okay, so the syntax for while loop is I need to initialize the variable, and then it will have 3 steps: initialize, then check for condition, and third is increment, or I can say variable modification. Okay, so when I write this while loop, I'll write like first is increment, so sorry, initialize, so I equal to 10. I have mentioned I equal to 10. Okay, then while, then it should have checked condition check, then column, and the code, or here task code, and then variable modification. This is a syntax for a while loop. These two parts we can interchange also as per the code. So if I want to increment my variable before, I can write variable modification and then my code. Okay, so for example of while loop is I equal to 10 while I greater than equal to 0, print I, and then variable modification. So I equal to I plus or I minus 1. See, this is the code. What if I forgot to mention this? What will happen is like it will go into the infinite loop. Okay, so that's why it is required to mention this condition. Okay, same way I can write, if I want to start from 0, I can start from 0 and I can check like I is less than or equal to 10. That time I need to add 1. Okay, this is how while and for loop works. Now I have break and continue with loops. Continue. Why we need break and continue is, suppose we are writing a code, okay, and at particular condition we don't want to move forward, okay. So at that time use a break. So what break will do, once it gets that condition, it will come out of the loop, okay. And what continue will do, continue, it will skip that steps. Once it get a particular that step or below, once it met a particular given condition, it will skip that code, okay. So example is, suppose for I in range 0 comma 10, okay, if I equal to 4, what I want to do, I want to break, I want to come out of the loop, else print I, okay. So what is this break means, it should come out of this loop once it get the 4. So let's see how it works. See, it printed 1 2 3 4, and once it received 4, it came out of the break, out of the loop, okay. So in place of break, if I'll write continue, what it should do, it should skip that block, right? So if I'll run this, see what it did, it skipped the 4 and it run after that, correct. So same thing I can use with while, but there is a twist, or I can say there is a condition you need to take care of in while that I'll mention in further. So I initialize the variable while I less greater than equal to 0 if I equal to 4, break, break, else print I, okay, and then I equal to I minus 1. So what it will do, once it will get this 4, it will come out of the loop. That's how it should work, right? Sorry, it print should be small letter C. Okay. See, once it get 4, it came out of the loop, correct? So what I'll write, what it should do once it gets, it should, as per this, as per the definition, if it get continue, it should skip 4 and it should write here 3 2 1, correct? Let's see what will happen if I'll give the same here. See, it print till 5 and then it went to the infinite stage. Why? What is happening here is, see, it got 10 9 8 7 6 5, correct. Once it got 4, it received continue and then it came here, correct. Then again it checked 4, it received continue and it came here. So there it's like it's looping inside this, it is checking these three conditions every time, and it is ending up with having the value 4, correct. So to solve this condition, or I can say continue will work if I'll modify my variable before this checking the condition. Now if I'll do this, it will work fine. See, okay, why? Because I'm checking this condition here and then it is printing, and it is then again it is checking 0, so it is printing -1 here, okay. So that's how continue will work once we write this variable modification condition before. What? Because if we write it after that, it will not check that condition and it will go in infinite loop. Okay. This much for this video. Thank you so much.